Welcome again to many of you who were here yesterday, and hello and welcome to those who come today. I will have a very short welcome word, and then you will listen to our eminent researchers who are gathered today. As Director General of the Swedish Agency for Work Environment Expertise, SAVE, I feel privileged to welcome our distinguished guests, experts, researchers, and stakeholders within the field of work environment and occupational safety and health to this PEROSH 5th research conference here in the Venice of the North, the marvelous city of Stockholm. I do hope that you will find some time to discover the beauties of this city during these days. Today we are having our conference at this historically significant building. You have heard the name ABF Huset, which literally is an abbreviation for the House of Workers Educational Association. Since 1961, when, as a result of the Swedish workers' movement, the building was raised for the purpose of workers' education, until today, workers and also general public have had the opportunity to attending courses and listening to scientific, literally, and politically known persons from Sweden and abroad in this location, as well as enjoying concerts and other artistic performances. And now we have you, eminent OSH researchers and members of PEROSH network from across Europe, who will share the latest scientific findings with us. We at the Swedish Agency for Work Environment Expertise are especially thrilled to host this conference since it coincides with PEROSH 20-year anniversary and also with our own agency's 5-year anniversary. The agency was established on the 1st of June 2018. It's a government agency under the Ministry of Employment. Commissioned by the Swedish government, SAVE carries out and spreads systematic reviews of research-based knowledge about working life and work environment, but also performs research under its own auspices and evaluates and analyzes effects of implemented reforms and government initiatives. SAVE is also in charge of developing expertise and competencies within occupational health care organizations. For instance, education of occupational doctors and other care personnel. SAVE joined PEROSH on the 1st of January 2020 and has been since an active member of this network. During the past 5 years, we have covered a vast range of OSH areas in our analysis and systematic reviews, from analyzing consequences of recent pandemic for workplaces in Sweden, 10 reports, to trend spotting on the future of work and work environment, 6 reports, to defining and identifying health factors in work environment, 4 reports. Cognitive work environment and artificial intelligence, agriculture workers' work environment, school children's knowledge of work environment, and LGBTQ plus persons' challenging work situation have also been our focus. I hope you follow us on our homepage, save.se, and through our newsletter. We do believe that a good work environment is central to social and economic sustainability in society, where not only individuals thrive and develop, but also companies are prosperous and competitive. If employees feel good in their workplaces, they perform better. The employers should understand this. Workplaces that work systematically and consciously to develop their work environment reduce risk of ill health and thus negative consequences for those affected, as well as the costs for society and companies. Knowledge of the nature of the work environment, its challenges and opportunities needs to be constantly developed. It needs to cover important areas such as occupational health risks in the workplaces, but also how to work with factors that promote health, well-being, and efficiency. We do hope that workplaces of Europe will be environments where employees and managers feel greater well-being at the end of the working day. This requires emergence of a new culture and a new way of thinking in traditional OSH discourse, which in addition to risks and challenges sees opportunities, health factors, and what is salutogenic in the work environment. With these words, I wish you good days and good discussions and networking during the conference days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nader Ahmadi. And we have more welcoming words, and this time it is State Secretary Martin Andreasson, State Secretary in the areas of gender equality and employment. Please, Martin.
Thank you very much, and also thank you, Mr. Ahmadi, for the inspiring words. Dear members of PEROSH and distinguished guests, it is an honor for me as State Secretary responsible for working life issues to speak to such a distinguished audience as this in the field of occupational safety and health. For 20 years, PEROSH has worked for a good and sustainable work environment by being a joint center for research in occupational safety and health in Europe. A research network that is needed today, maybe more than ever. We live in a fast-changing society, and as a consequence to the rapid development, our work environment is affected in many aspects. I would like to take the opportunity to highlight briefly just a few of these. A safe and healthy working environment for all is important in so many aspects. It is simply unacceptable that every year approximately 3,500 lives are lost in Europe due to fatal accidents. When studying fatal accidents, we can see a recurring pattern, namely deviation from normal routines and the lack of or inadequate security measures. However, while the number of people exposed to the highest risks are quite few, a large number of work-related deaths are caused by long time exposure of low or medium risks. Knowing this, it becomes evident that these deaths, work-related injuries and diseases, can be prevented if we work systematically and knowledge-based. Because just as important as it is to be aware and work intensely to combat these well-known risks, we must also be prepared to deal with other new and rising risks. here I would like to stress something that has been given a prominent place at the EU agenda, and rightly so, namely the need to recognize that stress and mental disorders are of growing concern. The long-term consequences of not taking mental health problems just as seriously as physical risks will be detrimental to the well-being of our society as a whole and will put many individuals at risk. Another topic that is intensely discussed and researched, and one of the many topics that you will have the chance to dive deep into during this conference, is reliable artificial intelligence. A topic with many important and interesting aspects. Can artificial intelligence increase our safety at work? Can it contribute to a better working environment? Can artificial intelligence even help us predict risks at work and prevent them? And at the same time, and not least, there are also many ethical issues that we also must decide upon. For example, who is responsible if an AI-driven robot makes a mistake? Knowledge of how technology affects people's working conditions and working environment is important. We must understand the changes that are taking place and at the same time work preventively. By considering work environment aspects already during planning, development, and introduction of technology in the work context, it is possible to design new jobs and new working environments that are characterized by efficiency, safety, job satisfaction, health, and sustainability. Before I conclude, I want to underscore something that Minister Paulina Brandberg, Minister for Working Life Issues, mentioned yesterday. Our world of work is rapidly changing, and promoting health and safety for today's and tomorrow's workforce is critical to healthier, longer, and more productive working lives. To ensure that, cooperation is key, and we need to cooperate in European research and development efforts and learn from each other's successes and setbacks, but also to inspire each other. So, it is with great pleasure that I welcome the PEROSH network to celebrate its 20th anniversary in Stockholm with this research conference. I wish you a very successful conference with interesting lectures, important networking, and inspiring research findings. Thank you so much.